All right, let's dive in. We're about to peel back the curtain on one of the most sophisticated intelligence operations on the entire planet. And you know what? It's happening inside you right now. Forget about spies and satellites. We are talking about a cellular network that protects you 24/7.
Seriously, think about it. You get a tiny little splinter, and most of the time your body just handles it. But how? What in the world is going on under your skin that turns a potential catastrophe into something you forget about in a day? Well, that's the incredible story we're going to unpack. So, our story kicks off right at the borders. Your skin, your gut, your lungs. These are the front lines, and they are constantly being patrolled by an elite group of sentinels, just waiting for the first sign of trouble. And here is the hero of our story, the dendritic cell. It might look like a weird little blob, but I want you to think of it as a highly specialized intelligence officer. It's one of the very first responders stationed in tissues all over your body, just waiting for a breach. Now, you'd think its main job would be to just destroy any invader it finds, right? But no, its primary mission is actually way more strategic. It's a scout. Its whole purpose is to constantly sample its environment, and if it finds an enemy, its job is to grab a piece of evidence and get that intel back to command and control as fast as possible. So what happens when one of these scouts actually finds something? Well, this is where the alarm bells go off and an absolutely incredible journey begins. Okay, so back to our splinter. It breaks the skin, bringing bacteria along for the ride. Our dendritic cell immediately leaps into action. It gobbles up a piece of that bacteria, a unique identifier called an antigen. Think of it like a spy grabbing an enemy soldier's uniform, so everyone back at base knows exactly who to look for. So, with the intel secured, the mission is on. The dendritic cell leaves the field and starts traveling through a network of highways called lymphatic vessels, heading for the nearest military base. And here's the cool part. On this journey, it actually matures, transforming from a simple scout into a professional presenter of evidence, ready to brief the top brass. And so, the dendritic cell arrives at headquarters. It's here, in the bustling corridors of a place called the lymph node, that the intelligence it's carrying is about to activate the body's elite special forces. This is why your lymph nodes get swollen when you're sick. They're not just glands, they are highly organized command centers. They're where immune cells meet up, share information, and mount a coordinated attack. It's the training ground and the briefing room all rolled into one. And this is the single most critical moment of the entire operation. Our dendritic cell finds a very specific type of soldier, a naive T cell, one that's never seen battle before. And it presents that piece of the enemy, essentially saying, look, this is the bad guy. This is what you need to hunt down and destroy. This one interaction, this cellular handshake, is the bridge that connects the body's general alarm system, what we call innate immunity, to its highly specific targeted army, the adaptive immune system. It's the difference between sending out general patrols versus deploying a team of highly trained snipers. Now that the order has been given, it's time to meet the soldiers who are about to take the fight to the enemy, the specialized cells of that adaptive immune system. Once that naive T cell gets its orders, a massive mobilization begins. It starts multiplying like crazy, creating an entire army of effector cells, each one programmed to recognize that specific invader. At the same time, its partners, the B cells, get activated and turn into little antibody factories, pumping out tiny guided missiles that will tag the invaders for destruction. But check this out. The story doesn't end when the infection is cleared. Some of these battle-hardened T and B cells don't just die off. Nope. They become memory cells, veterans that stick around for years, sometimes for your entire life, holding on to the memory of that specific enemy. And get this. A newborn baby has very few of these veteran memory cells. We're talking less than 5% of their total T cells. But in an adult, they can make up 50% or even more of the T cells circulating in your blood. That's a huge shift. You can actually see this happening right here. As we go through life, the population of our naive cells, the ones ready for brand new threats, goes down. Meanwhile, our library of experienced veteran memory cells just grows and grows. This is exactly why you usually only get something like chickenpox once. The next time it shows up, your body's veterans recognize it instantly and just shut it down before you even feel sick. Now, while the dendritic cell and the T cells are definitely the stars of this particular story, they are part of a much bigger team. So let's meet a couple of the other key players who work alongside them.
So these are natural killer cells, or NK cells. You can think of them as part of the innate security force. They don't need that whole intelligence briefing from a dendritic cell. They have their own way of recognizing cells that are stressed out, infected, or have turned cancerous, and they can just take them out on the spot.
And then you have the innate lymphoid cells, or ILCs. Now, this diagram looks complex, but the idea is simple. They're another group of early responders that act like directors right at our barrier tissues, again, the gut and lungs. And depending on the threat, say a virus versus a parasite, they know exactly what kind of specialized support to call in to handle the situation. So, from one tiny splinter, an entire intelligence operation and military campaign is launched. A campaign that builds a memory that can last a lifetime. It's amazing, and it leaves us with one final, fascinating question to ponder. If all these trillions of cells contain the exact same DNA blueprint, how on earth does your body produce this incredible diversity of specialized soldiers, each with its own unique equipment to fight a different foe? That is a puzzle for another day.